In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Purchase Debit Note module. First, click on Purchase and Purchase Debit Note. Here you will see a list of your previous Purchase Debit Note entries and their details. So in order to add a new entry, all you have to do is just click on Add New Item. After doing so, you'll be brought to the Purchase Debit Note Add page, where you will have to fill in information regarding the Purchase Debit Note entry. So first, let's begin with the supplier field. If you would like to create a purchase debit note for an existing supplier, all you have to do is just type in their name or supplier code in this field over here and click on Lookup to search for them. However, if you need to create a new supplier entry for this purchase debit note, all you have to do is just click on New Supplier over here, and the system will redirect you to the Supplier Master Add page where you can create a new supplier entry. So in my case, I'll be creating a purchase debit note for an existing supplier, Bunga. So I'll type in Bunga in the field and click on Lookup, and I'll select the name that comes up in the list. Now as you can see, the system will autofill all relevant fields with the information that I filled in for the supplier Bunga in the supplier module. Other than that, if you would like to associate this purchase debit note with a vehicle that is owned by the supplier, you can also do so by entering the vehicle number in this field. So just like the supplier field, if you would like to search for an existing vehicle, all you have to do is just type in their vehicle number in this field and click on Lookup. And if you would like to create a new vehicle entry for this debit note, you can click on New Vehicle over here. And the system will redirect you to the Vehicle Master Add page where you can create a new vehicle entry. So in my case, I'll search for vehicles with ABC in their vehicle number and click on Lookup. And I'll select the vehicle ABC0123. As you can see here, the system will fill in the vehicle's information in the vehicle field. Now, after this, you can continue filling in all these fields, but for this video's sake, we'll be continuing on to the next section, which is the item section. Here is where you will be entering the information of the items that are going to be on the purchase debit note. So just like the supplier and vehicle fields, for the item code field, if you would like to search for an existing item, all you have to do is just type in their item code here and click on Lookup. And if you would like to create a new item for this purchase debit note, you can click on New Inventory over here. And you will be brought to the Stock Master Add page where you can create a new item entry. So in my case, I'll be searching for an item code that contains XM2 and click on Lookup. And I'll select the first option. And after I do so, the system will autofill certain fields with the information I filled in for this item in the Maintain Stock module. If an item has multiple descriptions and you don't want this description, you can click on the arrow over here and select the other descriptions that you've created for it in the Maintain Stock module. And if you would like to create a new description, you can also click on New over here. So let's say I select this test description for demonstration purposes. As you can see, the description has changed according to my selection. Moving on, I'll fill in the quantity, let's say 4, and I'll choose the UOM, and I'll fill in the unit price, discount, remark, account, keep in view amount, free of charge amount, location, and whether or not this item includes tax. So after I'm done here, I'll click on Add, and the system will create a list at the bottom of this section with all the items that I've added. Now, let's say when adding this item, I've made a typo or an error and I would like to fix it. Well, all I have to do is just click on Edit over here and do my updating. After I'm done, I'll just click on Update and my changes will be made. If I would like to delete this item entry, all I have to do is just click on Delete over here. And after you're done adding in all the items that are going to be in the purchase debit note, you can move on to Shipping Info over here and fill in the shipping information such as delivery date, delivery time, and the delivery remark. So after you're done in this section, we'll move on to the next section, which will be the amount in this purchase debit note. So in the bottom right corner over here, the system will automatically calculate the total amount, and at the top left over here, the system will also display item discounts, deposits, or balance of this purchase debit note if any. Now moving on to the final section. So let's say for the total amount of 1,800, the supplier has paid some of it in advance. So here we can choose the payment type by the supplier. Let's say the supplier paid in cash. And for amount, let's say the supplier paid 500 in advance. And which account this money goes into. So let's say cash account. And if there is any extra info that I would like to type in. After I'm done, I'll click on Add. And as you can see here, the payment entry has been successfully created. If you would like to delete this payment entry, you can click on Delete over here. And that's it for the payment section. So after you're done filling in all details for this purchase debit note and you've double confirmed all the information, you can click on Save to save your entry. If you would like to print out this purchase debit note, you can also click on Print. Keep in mind that both Save and Print will save your entry into the system. However, if you would like to discard this entry, you can click on Exit over here. For now, I'll click on Save. And as you can see, my purchase debit note entry has been entered into the system. So that's it for adding a new entry. Now, what if I want to edit the details of a purchase debit note? Let's say I made an error when creating it, or I would like to update the information of that entry. Well, all I have to do is just find the purchase number of that purchase debit note entry and click on it. After I do so, I'll be brought to the purchase debit note edit page where I can do my changes. So after I'm done, I'll just click on Save, and the changes will be made by the system. Moving on, if I would like to duplicate an entry of a purchase debit note, all I have to do is just find that purchase debit note and click on Copy. By doing so, the system will create another purchase debit note entry with identical information of the purchase debit note that you just copied from. This is particularly useful if you're trying to create multiple purchase debit notes for the same supplier or the same items. So for now, I'll click on Exit since I'm not trying to duplicate any entries. And next up, you have the print function. So if you would like to print any purchase debit notes, all you have to do is just find them and click on Print. After that, the system will bring you to the printing page where you can print out the purchase debit note. If you would like to print out multiple purchase debit notes at once, instead of clicking on print one by one, you can utilize the checkboxes on the left. So after selecting the ones that you would like to print, you can click on Print Purchase Debit Note up here. After doing so, the system will also bring you to the printing page, but this time you can print multiple purchase debit notes at once. Now moving back, let's say you want to search for a specific purchase debit note in this list. Well, you can use either the search bar down here or the search bar up here. The difference being that the search bar down here is more generic and can only search for keywords in this list, while the search bar up here is more specific and can search for values inside specific columns. So let's say I'm trying to search for the keyword XYZ in this list. I'll type in XYZ in this search bar. And as you can see, the system will return to me all rows with XYZ in any of their columns. Now, this is great for generic and quick searches, but what if I want to be more specific? Let's say I want to search for purchase debit notes that were made in 2024. Well, all I have to do is just go to the search bar up here, and in the debit note date from field, I'll just fill in the date ranges. So in the first box, I'll fill in 2024, January 1st, and in the second box, I'll fill in 2024, December 31st. After I'm done, I'll click on Search. And as you can see, the system will return to me all purchase debit notes that were created in the year 2024. Other than that, if you would like to filter the entries based on column values, you can also do so by using the funnel icon over here. So let's say I select these two and click on OK. The system will filter out the entries based on my selection. You can also sort the entries by ascending or descending order based on column values by clicking on the corresponding column header, like so. Finally, if you would like to change the way that this list looks, maybe enable or disable certain columns or reorder their sequence, you can turn on Personalize Column up here in this search bar. Doing so will grant you the ability to enable or disable certain columns by clicking on these buttons, and you can reorder their sequence by dragging them around. After you're done, you can scroll all the way down here and click on Update. As you can see, the system will update the list according to your personalization. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.